that. Control C. I started this way earlier than I wanted to, but whatever. Come on. Don't go slow on me now. And there. Okay. Hey guys, it's Tech Turncoat again. Here for another, you know why you're here. Let's just get right to it, like normal. I'm not super great at these intros. We'll get there. But for now, we left off in the middle of the night. Well, let's see what the rest of the night has for us. We come down from the bridge and into the park. It's 11 o'clock. There's nobody in the park, but it's overly decorated with things like the fountain and streetlights. We just keep walking. Saber's walking slowly. She was standing on that bridge for more than 5 hours. She must be freezing, and surely she's tired as well. Hold on, guys. This was just fine like 2 minutes ago. There it is. Okay. Hopefully that'll hold. Okay. She falls forward sometimes as I pull her by the hand. Should I walk slower, Saber? You don't seem to be doing well. I turned around to check on her. No, I feel fine. It's just that... Is it not because of Rin, but it really seems like a rendezvous if we're holding hands like this. So... Hearing that, I feel my face burn up in like an instant. Yeah, should I let go? I mean, like, if you're uncomfortable with it or anything. No, this is fine. Your hand is warm and very comforting. Flirting. Our conversation ends right there. I walk on to hide my embarrassment. Saber silently accompanies me. How much further is it to the mansion? I feel embarrassed by the warmth of my hand as I leave the park. Many things have happened today. But if it ends with this warmth, I can change religion and start to pray with that priest. But the instant I think so... Where are you going? Do not take what is mine, kid. We meet someone we never should have met. My happy mind freezes in an instant. Goosebumps form all over my body, and my throat won't move, as if it's forgotten how to breathe. Man, I've been there. Shirou. Must be the same for Saber right behind me. Her hand holds me tightly, just as I feel an unavoidable death. Saber, too, feels an unconcealable desperation. I have kept you waiting, Saber. I have come for you, as promised. Archer. The Golden Servant. The unknown heroic spirit who swept away the bone creatures and even cast her herself without any difficulty. That monster's in front of us. He's so close to us. At a distance with which we would start fighting if we wanted to face a death greater than even Berserker. What's wrong, Saber? I have come specially for you. It'd be rude to stay silent. Or, do you intend to play around for a bit before becoming mine, King of Knights? Archer stifles his laughter happily. His eyes aren't looking at me. He's only watching Saber. With his rude red eyes, he's looking at her as if evaluating a work of art. Saber's presence changes. She must have prepared herself. Unlike me, unable to even move a finger, she's already glaring at the enemy servant. Shirou, I will block his first attack no matter what. Please retreat from here at that time. I know how hard that is, but I can still manage against this servant. Her back asks me to forgive her. Even Saber can only manage to block his first attack. The chance of success of retreating from a guy like this is low. Saber's asking for my forgiveness for that low chance. Probably... she knows she has no way to defeat that servant. She can't do that. This is different from when we fought Berserker. For some reason, I know that making Saber fight this servant will be bad. No. I may know the reason. I felt it when I saw his noble phantasms last night. Saber will not be able to beat this man no matter what. It's not about skills as a swordsman. Before that, the prerequisites are wrong. As long as they are heroic spirits, no heroic spirit will be able to beat him. No, you're the one who's running away, Saber. Shirou? I cover Saber and face Archer. Oh, yeah, you had a master, huh? He was so shabby, I thought he was a dog or something, he says happily. The man raises his hand and slowly brings his fingers together. I feel sick. I'll be killed if I don't retreat right now. There's no reason or logic behind it. I just feel instinctively that I'll be killed if I stay in front of him and... Go, Saber! The church is nearby. It should be able to shelter you even against him. I push Saber away and run as if shaking off the premonition of death attacking me. There's only one thing to do. I run up to him, project Saber's sword like when I fought Berserker, and... my body flies. What happened? The instant that man snapped his fingers, something appeared right beside me. Ow! Ooh. I could tell it was a big hammer and that I was smashed away, flying across the ground like trash. I can't move. I feel like all the bones in my body are broken. I can't feel my limbs. My pain is numbed, and I can't even tell if I'm alive or not. I will not kill you. Saber would disappear if I killed you now. It is against my will, but I shall let you live until the Holy Grail appears. The man laughs. I move my hands to try and get up, but my body won't move at all. My blood isn't flowing. It feels like the energy to move my body has stopped reaching my limbs. But do not be conceited, mongrel. There are ways to let a servant stay in this world without you. It is just that this is the least troublesome state. I'll kill you if you annoy me. That kills my mind. He will kill me. If I move any more, he will do so without hesitation. How could anyone move after being told that? Shirou! Saber tries to run to me. Where are you going? There's no one left to intrude. That piece of shit is not the man you should be running to. But the man won't allow that. He stands before me and waits for Saber to come to him. Saber stops and glares at the man. There's about 10 meters between them. It's a distance Saber would be able to close instantly, but... It seems you're not willing to come to me. I find that hard to understand. A heroic spirit like you must know how valuable it is to be chosen by me. Nonsense. I am a king, even though I am a heroic spirit. I will not submit to you. Was that so? Even if you are a king, you're still a woman. Oh god, he's so weird. It should be a woman's joy to bow to her head before a man and serve him. So why do you refuse? It's not like you're an ignorant child. Are you scared to become mine? You... Do not resent me so. I do not only take, I shall give you pleasure equally. If you are to become mine, I will literally give you everything in this world. Be proud. I have accepted that you have such value. The man moves. He opens his arms as if to accept Saber. That is right. You do not need to be a guardian, nor will you return to your point of death. I will say this once more, Saber. Be mine. Let us enjoy our second lives in this world. I refuse. I have no interest in such things, and most of all, I do not want to live with you. She does not nod or retreat. Saber looks at Archer head on. He stops. I don't know what's so funny, but the man starts laughing. Great, that's what I expect from the woman I chose. Yes, there must be at least one that will not obey me. Alright then, I shall do so by force. Oh, no, he's still talking. Alright, then I shall do so by force. After I obtain the Holy Grail, I shall pour the contents onto you. Rejoice, Saber. You will not need your master after that. You will be taking in all the power of the omnipotent vessel. You shall not be a familiar to humans like the serpents. The man says so with satisfaction. To that, Saber replies. Archer, what is your intention? She must have realized that the fighting is the only way. Saber asks for Energy's reasons at the end. Intention? I do not remember. Unfortunately, I have obtained everything, so there's nothing I wish for. What? Then you do not seek the Holy Grail? The Holy Grail? Oh, immortality. I gave it to that snake. You gave immortality to a snake? Saber's presence freezes. What was that conversation? Saber shakes her head to try and deny the word. But this world is interesting. The basic principles do not change, but the decorations are so elaborate that it seems different when it has come this far. In this case, it will not be too bad to reign over this world. Yes, I think that'll be my intent. If it will let me to do that efficiently, the Holy Grail is not without some use. The desire to rule? You are despicable, Archer. You seek the Holy Grail for such a purpose? I do not seek it. Everything in this world is mine. I do not like others using what is mine. You too should hate having your holy sword used by strangers, King of Knights. Saber's body goes misty. After a brief flash, Saber's wearing her silver armor. Like a magical transformation. Oh. The man does not even move. The next instant, Saber dashes forward. She runs up to the man instantly and slashes her invisible sword at deadly speed. Repelled, Saber jumps backwards. If Saber's armor is materialized from her magical energy, his armor must be the same as well. In the short battle, the enemy has armed himself. Saber looks calmly at Archer, holding her sword ready. Even with her stare, the man does not stop smiling. All right. I shall allow you to oppose me, Saber. The enemy happily announces the beginning of the battle. The white light runs toward the darkness. Saber, running up to the Golden Knight without hesitation, slashes the sword down, surrounded by lightning. One blow, 2, 3, 4. Each time, Saber's sword finds the enemy, blinding light is released. Combinations like a strobe. It's just like when I first saw Saber when she fought Lancer. Saber drives magical energy into her sword and strikes with it like lightning. The sword and armor clash. The man hasn't even drawn his weapon yet. With Saber's sword in front of him, he's just protecting his head with his hands. That man does not have the skill to block Saber's sword. Saber is much better than this man at sword techniques. And on top of that, Saber's sword is invisible. Even if the man had a weapon, I don't think he'd be able to block that invisible sword. The invisible sword keeps hitting the man's armor. The sword smashes against the armor, shaves it, letting off lightning sparks. All the man can do is protect his head with his hands. This isn't even a match. This is just one-sided elimination. But still, the golden armor retains its shape. If the armor's free of damage, even after taking Saber's attacks so many times, could it be that his noble phantasm is his golden armor? I guess any more would be bad. You certainly do have a large supply of magical energy. My armor does not give out often, but... The enemy who is merely defending raises his arm. Not towards Saber. I don't know why, but the man raises his hand to the night sky and... Enough playing around. Offer me your body right here. Is it an illusion? In his hand. A short sword like a key in his hand. Saber attacks with all her power, but the enemy repels it with his dark red sword. That is a noble phantasm bearing a curse of vengeance? Saber distances herself and glares at the sword in her enemy's hand. The fact that the enemy has revealed his weapon is a threat, but at the same time, it means that the enemy's attacks are revealed. It doesn't matter if his noble phantasm is a sword or armor. As long as you can see it, you're able to deal with it. Saber readies herself. As the man said, his armor is at its limit. If Saber relaunches her fierce barrage of attacks, she should be able to slash him through his armor. Even if he has brought out his noble phantasm, it won't make a difference to the fact that the next blow will decide the match. This is it. Let us decide the match we would not finish before, Archer. The sword in her hand is still invisible. Readying the holy sword sealed in wind, Saber stares at her enemy. It seems Saber knows that the noble phantasm is. That's why she intentionally distanced herself, and since she knows how to deal with it, she's confronting the enemy straight on. If their noble phantasms are swords, and if the sword's abilities are equal, the deciding factor will be the own sword technique. By that theory, Saber has to win. Alright, then come at me. In deference to your sword, I shall show you everything I have. The man laughs. Fine. Saber charges without hesitation. Saber's sword will slash his armor for sure. Instant I think that... Gate of Babylon. An invisible door opens behind the man. What? Saber's body stops. The weapons the enemy takes are different from the previous dark red sword. The first is an invisible sword like Saber's. As soon as Saber defends against it, the man is holding yet another sword. The sword is of ice. She twists her body to avoid it, but the space between the sword goes through freezes. Saber retreats, covered in ice. As the ice starts to break, the enemy holds a sickle-like weapon. She instantly tries to block the weapon approaching her neck with her gauntlet, but it's useless. The sickle goes through her arm like the gauntlet isn't there, and takes away her magical energy, as if cutting away her bone and not her flesh or blood. Saber totters, but manages to stay standing. It is a different kind of retreat now. Not to distance herself and prepare for the next attack. It's a desperate retreat, just to get away from the enemy. That is impossible. Saber glares at the enemy, drawing her magical energy into her arm. Many handles are floating around the man. That's what slaughtered Castor. And those are the noble phantasms of the Golden Knight who cornered Saber. It's a scene that makes even me want to doubt my own eyes. Those handles floating behind him are surely those of noble phantasms. Not just 10 or 20. No, even though I can't see them, I can feel that they're infinite. From all times and places. As if to say, that servant has all the divine mysteries from every legend. Acha, who are you? Saber's voice is trembling. The servant will not answer when asked their true identity. But the enemy's noble phantasm is so strange that Saber has to ask. Answer me, Acha. A heroic spirit can only have one noble phantasm, except for when they don't. No, some have more, but 2 should be the limit. A heroic spirit with infinite noble phantasms cannot exist. Cannot exist? You're jumping to conclusions, Saber. Heroic spirits, noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. So this is a simple story. These noble phantasms are things I collected when I was alive. Are you insulting me, Archer? That is even more impossible. No matter who you are, it would be impossible for you to collect all the noble phantasms, the symbols of other heroic spirits. No such heroic spirit exists. Saber's right. All the noble phantasms he has are real. There are demonic swords from Northern Europe, and demonic swords from South America. No hero made his name in so many different places. And first of all, only Lancer has gibbed. Heroic spirits, noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. But by that rule, as soon as he has gibbed, he has to be Cuchulainn. But he isn't Cuchulainn. So that lance cannot be gibbed. But the thing is, that's definitely the real gibbed. This could all be explained if it was a fake, but as long as it's real, the contradiction is... No. Hold on. Original. The model of weapon? It can't be. But wait. It is possible. Myths and legends do not start from nothing. All myths have common points because a single foundation became their model. Because the legends that become objects of faith are only those that originate in the land. I think demonic swords and holy swords start having special abilities around that time. So before even that, what if the noble phantasms in myths and legends had a form before they were given names? Oh, it seems your master's not so bad after all. It seems he has a hunch about my true identity. Eh? Saber looks towards me. So far away. I can't help her if she's so far away. My body has only recovered to the point where I can barely move my fingers. Run, Saber. His noble phantasm is... real, right? Yes, it is really simple, Saber. Let me tell you about the most ancient time, when the world was still one. That kingdom flourished, and that king collected every treasure in the world. There was nothing he could not collect, and he lacked nothing. The king had a perfect treasury, and the masses of weapons that were never used, but instead went to sleep with the king. That story is simple. After the king's death, the contents of the treasury of Rome spread all over the world. They were valued because they were splendid swords, and they eventually became noble phantasms. Do you understand, King of Knights? The noble phantasms you use are just the king's possessions. It's like inheritance. If you go back far enough, a model must exist. So it's only natural for every legend, myth, folklore, and noble phantasm to have an original model. And, in the distant past, if it were possible to collect all their models, then one could possess all noble phantasms. Only one hero could correspond to that. One with origins and a legend far older than that of King Arthur or Heracles. One said to rule over ancient Mesopotamia. The half-god, half-human king who collected treasures as he wished and sought immortality in the end. Oh, technically, if we're getting a technical, I'm pretty sure I think it was like 3/4 human, 1/4 god, or something like that. It's weird. Let's not dwell on that for right now. His name was Gilgamesh, mankind's oldest king of heroes. She sounds as if she's holding back fear. The Golden Knight, Gilgamesh, accepts the shock with satisfaction. Indeed, I am the strongest heroic spirit. You shall be no match. And the Golden Knight moves forward. There's nothing else to talk about. All that remains is for him to use his many noble phantasms to defeat his enemy. Oh? You'd still oppose me, even after you know my name. You must know you have no chance of winning. I do not know unless I try. Wow, that's loud. That just down a little bit. It's loud in my ears, but like I'm just making sure you guys can hear. Even the King of Heroes must have something he cannot surpass. Saber's surroundings waver. Jesus Christ, it's only getting louder. The wind starts to twirl and become a raging gale to protect her. Turn that right back up. Oh, the winds have died down. At the same time, the golden sword appears. No! Saber! It can't be. Saber's going to use the Excalibur? Gilgamesh stops. He too must know the Holy Sword's power as his composure vanishes. Saber keeps staring at Gilgamesh and looks in my direction for an instant. Is she telling me to run? Gilgamesh has his back to the river. And Saber's over here. It must have been when she attacked him earlier. Before I realized it, Saber's confronting Gilgamesh to protect me. No, you can't use it here. I pour strength into my limbs. Even if I try to move my numb body, all I can do is one of my arms. But I still collect all the magical energy in my body to raise my body with that one arm. God damn it! My senses were gone, but every bone in my body starts to scream once I start moving. The pain is a warning. The pain is telling me I'll break if I move any further. I ignore it and raise my body up. I bear my pain. I don't have time to deal with it. I have to get up quickly and protect Saber. Because I have a really bad feeling about this. A premonition I felt when I faced that enemy. She'll never be able to beat him. The instinctive feeling I have should never let Saber fight him. Won't go away. This holy sword, huh? Fine. The twirling wind is now a raging storm. Even with the holy sword shining in front of them, the Golden Knight does not back away. Moreover, then I shall use a weapon appropriate against it. He pulls an incongruous sword from the gate behind him. That's the cause of my bad feeling. That sword does not appear in any legend. I could identify every one of his noble phantasms that were floating behind him, but even I cannot tell what that sword is. I have the original models of all the noble phantasms, but they are all nameless, and I am not their only possessor. A cylindrical sword. The sword is made of 3 parts, and each part is turning slowly in different directions. It looks like a rock drill to pierce through a hard surface. But this is different. This sword is truly a sword that only the King of Heroes possesses. It has no name, so I just call it Ea. Are you saying we shall compare the strengths of our noble phantasms? Light concentrates. There's only about 10 meters between them. Within that distance, Gilgamesh could not even be able to dodge our attack. Right. We do not need to hold back. I've always wanted to take that sword, said to be the most powerful. His laughter echoes through the park. She must consider that provocation. Alright. Then try to defend yourself against my sword! Saber's sword moves. Her lips move to say its true name. There's nowhere to run now. The noble phantasm released with its true name will smash all of the power into Gilgamesh. It's your turn. Wake up! Ea! The cylindrical sword Ea roars. In response to Gilgamesh's words, the 3 blades turn with a whirring sound. Just gonna deafen that again so you can use. Well, doesn't need to be that low. If Saber's Excalibur brings on a whirlwind by releasing the wind, Gilgamesh's Ea creates a storm by swallowing the surrounding winds. X? Saber's more experienced with the anti-castle little phantasms. It is faster than Ea's roar. Saber pours magical energy into the sword up to its limit in a matter of seconds and executes it with the greatest power. Caliber! There's no hesitation. Saber releases the holy sword that can even split a river in two. Just before that, Enema! Elish! A light of the same magnitude takes on Excalibur's light. A huge impact. The raging wind knocks over trees and the crashing lights become an exploding sun, burning my eyes. No! My body! My body's almost blown away by the wind. I managed to dig myself into the ground with one hand and endure the waves of light and heat. How long will this conflict last? The battle of the two rumblings that make me fear the earth is going to split in two is... suddenly ended with her figure surrounded by a white light. A crash. I hear something falling right beside me. Hey. What it is, I can't even tell with my blinded eyes. I thought she might be dead. That's how torn up Saber is. It's not that bad. In the distance, the Golden Knight is laughing crazily, unscathed. So the most powerful holy sword is only that strong. Huh. Humanity's illusions are mere child's play after all. His laugh is high-pitched, and it seems like it'll carry over the burning air into the heavens. Is it that much fun? He doesn't even look at Saber as he laughs, only for his own sake. Say. There's no reply, but blood gushes from her mouth as she tries to gasp. My vision turns red. What was I doing? I knew this was going to happen. I knew Saber wouldn't be able to beat Gilgamesh, so why didn't I stop her or use a command spell? But this is rather boring. Complete victory for me, huh? I'm disappointed that you cannot even offset my attack, Saber. Oh, I see. I should have taken it easier on you. After all, I am fighting women and children. His irritating laugh. The responsibility is mine. I thought she could win. No matter how bad it felt, I thought Saber's Excalibur could be able to beat him. That's why even though I told her to stop, my command spell didn't react. I wasn't serious. If I really wanted to protect Saber, I could have made her run away using the command spell. And there would have been infinite ways for me to fight by myself. Well then, let me have at you now. You are dirtied, but you would have eventually ended up in the same way. It's no problem that you're hurt now. His laughter approaches. She must have noticed that as Saber faintly opens her eyes. Saber! Are you alright? I can see her breathing, but I can't touch her, even if I reach out. My body still won't move, and I can't even run to her. So I can only call out to her. Saber! 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 Saber's mouth opens. She breathes in as if asking for help, and coughs as if even that is painful. Shirou, are you There? She raises a faint voice, telling me she cannot see me. Hold on! I can't say I'll help her. I'm on the ground too. I can only really move my arms. I can only call out to her and encourage her. She can't even see me in this ugly state? Oh. Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. I have been defeated. She speaks in a soft voice and looks at me with no light in her eyes. I am sorry. Please run away, Master. She says something absurd while coughing up blood. My vision turns red with anger. And blood. I completely depended on Saber unconsciously. And this is the result? I can't even stand up after a sudden attack? I grab my head with the only arm that moves. I want to kill myself. In-game. So I put strength into my head as if to squash my head. Hand as if to squash my head. A firing hammer goes down. I take the switch to turn myself into a mage and smash it on with a hammer instead of my finger. Never use it again. Projection magic is beyond your level. Oh, sorry. Just like his words. She says magic is beyond one level will destroy caster's circuits and nerves. So what? She's more important than that. If I can't protect her, I don't need my body. She helped me many times. There's never been anyone I cared so much about. So, if I can't protect her, Emiya Shirou can just die here. I feel like I'm louder than normal. I can hear sounds of metal. Metallic magical energy reinforces all the bones of my body and all the broken parts of my body. I'll give it everything I have. I'll put the highest gear and the highest rotation from the start, and ignoring my limits, I'll create as much magical energy as possible. My spine catches fire, my whole body grows red hot. I bite my tongue to bear the feeling of my brain melting. I bite down on the pink flesh. If I can keep my consciousness just by making a hole in my tongue, there's no problem. What? The footsteps stop. His laughter stops as well. What? Shirou, what are you doing? If you do that, your body will... She must feel it even though she can't see. Saber screams, trying to get back up. That makes my last powers turn on. I stand back up. The body that wouldn't obey me starts to move because of the magical energy poured in past its limits. This is like setting my body on fire to make it run towards water. I think it's actually still a little low. I think I can probably turn it up by now. Is that good? A little bit more. Yeah, okay. But I don't care. It's better than watching Saber get hurt. That's right. I finally realized the mind that's about to burn away. From the beginning, I swore to hold the sword because I didn't want to see her hurt. Wow. I'm telling you to run, so why? I obstruct the enemy. Saber's behind me. Now, I can't even take one step backwards. Trace. On. I hold down my brain, which is rolling around on fire, and manage my mind. I'm imagining only one thing. I'll divide the projection into 8 sections to create the lost sword. I feel something hard in my left hand. I don't even need to look to check. The second manufacture of the sword proved successful without slowing down even once. My sword. No, that is still not enough. You must know you cannot beat him without that. With that, sorry. If you can move, please run away. I won't. I came to pick you up, so I can't run home by myself. I ready my sword. I hold the sword, heavier than a shinai, and glare at the enemy. Stop, Shirou. This man is... I shake off Saber's word and step forward. There's 4 meters between us. If I step forward with all my might, I'll be able to attack him. Enemy doesn't move. Gilgamesh watches me for 1 second and then laughs. I guess I'll kill you. He says so in an emotionless voice. I instantly block the attack swung at me. You! I sway my body to the side to avoid the attack. But I'm not fast enough. If the first attack was a sudden gust, this next barrage of attacks is like a raging wind. Parrying is all I can do. No, it wouldn't even been able to block the first attack by myself. It's so fortunate that I also reproduced its memory when I reproduced the sword. A sword with a long past holds will and experience. This sword must already be familiar with such attacks. I can't judge Gilgamesh's attacks, but the sword is able to. So the sword reacts to his attacks before my hands do. I swing to follow the sword, and as a result, I can block his attack. But that doesn't last long. My fingers numb every time I swing, and I cannot catch up with the sword. Mongrel, you're worse than unsightly. I must dislike that even the slight resistance. He glares at me in anger and retreats a bit. Thank God. If he had kept attacking me, I would not have been able to last more than a few seconds. I take a deep breath and try to control my breathing. And then... You filthy imitator! If you like it so much, I shall show you the real one. He takes out a sword. That is a familiar sword. The ornamentation on it is different, but its true nature, the idea of its creation, and its soul are too close to that of this sword. Can't be. The sword's model? It is, but its strength as a noble phantasm is incomparable. What you have is the sword in the stone, originated from the legend of the Sword of Supremacy in the Tree from Northern Europe. But this is the original model, the foundation of the sacred right to select the king. The Sword of Supremacy in the Tree. Gran, the demonic sword of Sigmund, hero of Northern Europe. Its original model? Children cannot defeat their parents. An imitation that deteriorates every time it is renewed cannot match the original model. Light runs. The sword understands better than anything that it is the same attack that terminated Berserker in one slash. It must be protecting its owner. The sword in my hand goes for the enemy sword with the utmost power. The name of the noble phantasm is Caliber, the golden sword of assured victory, but it is destroyed without a single trace by the sword called Marduk, the original sin. I hear something sliding on the ground. Sliding. Is the ground of the park slippery because it's level? I slide across the ground and finally come to a stop. Shirou! 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 That voice makes me realize I'm still alive. Oh, Saber. You're pretty near me. Thinking so, I'm relieved. I felt like I was blown away, but it's fine if Saber's nearby. So all I have to do is get up, and I can run to Saber. Huh? Huh? I look at my arm while I stay on the ground. It's red. My arm is surrounded by a red membrane. There's no blood coming out of it. Do not move. Please do not move, Shirou. I can hear Saber's voice. It seems my body's been injured. That attack, I'm sure it was blown away by Gilgamesh's sword. So the wound must be... Oh, I see. Now I understand why Saber's acting like that. I can only move my right hand. My left hand won't move. First of all, my left shoulder isn't attached to my body. I can't even breathe, diagonally down from my left shoulder. As my body is cut from the shoulder down, it's separated like Lego pieces that don't fit together. It looks like a ginkgo leaf. I've been cut from my shoulder down to my waist. It's strange that I'm alive, but that miracle should soon run out. I'm barely conscious right now, and my vision narrows by the second. First of all, my insides will fall out if I move. Maybe I'm already dead, and my mind is lingering like a ghost. I see. I thought you'd be scattered, but you are rather tough, I see. Clinging to life is the only merit of a mongrel. He laughs. Honestly, I'm thankful. The more irritating he is, the more my mind stays conscious. But that is all. A lion doesn't suit you. I will take that woman. Footsteps. The sound of him walking to obtain Saber for sure this time. Well, what are you gonna do? Not stand up? I put power into my right hand. I grab the ground and raise my half-sliced body. I see Saber's face for an instant. She looks like she's about to cry. I'm proud of myself for falling in love with her. Hold on. I'm not done yet. I didn't hear no bell. I raise my body with just one arm. My legs won't move. The magical energy that forced my body to move has depleted. The only thing remaining is my beating heart and my organs screaming in pain. Oh? Lingering affection? I would assume so. This treasure is beyond you. I understand how you must feel. It must be really vexing to have it taken away by another man. That does it. I can't stand his talking anymore. I'm saying, don't talk like you're treating Saber as an object. I put power into my right arm. Is there metal in it? With a creaking noise, my body reacts to my wishes. I get up on one knee. Damn. Do as I tell you. Oh, sorry. No. Sorry. Got that wrong. Damn. Do what I tell you. I put power into my body. As I do so, the things I need to live flow out. Why? Why do you not understand that it is useless now? Oh. Yeah. Saber's voice is almost insulting. She's a long way away. From a distant place, she's watching me in vexation. Okay. I ignore it and keep trying. Saber's voice is just a burden. Not my body nor Gilgamesh, but Saber's my greatest enemy now. Because if she objects with an expression like that, my mind will die. Finally. My knee finally has strength, so all that's left to do is stand. No, I do not need your help, as I have been defeated. I am not your sword anymore. Disappearing like this is the natural end for a servant. Saber's voice. Damn it. If she interrupts me anymore, I'll get mad even at her. No, please stop, Shirou. You cannot go on. You really will die. If you die here, I will. How could she say such selfish things without knowing how I feel? Shut up! Just be quiet for a second. At times like this, you can rely on me. That is not true, Shirou. Please do not get your priorities wrong. My life is not important. You should put your life at first rather than such a thing. She sounds like she's begging. My mind almost collapses, thinking that I'm making her sound like that. But still, I refuse. There's nothing I want more than you. I can't accept her words. What? Saber looks at me in astonishment. I don't know why she looks like that, but I remember. She told me I was a fool who didn't know the value of his own life. I think she's right. It's too conceited for someone who can't even think about himself to try and help someone else. That's just complacent happiness, and it's an unstable happiness for the other party. The most important person is yourself. That kind of person probably can become happy and share their happiness. Yeah, I really am a fool who doesn't consider his own life. I was wrong about what's most important for me. Since that day, that seat has been empty. But I'm grateful for that abnormality. Because in that empty seat is sitting a person I want to save from the bottom of my heart. But Saber, this wouldn't change even if I valued my life above all. You're more beautiful than that. There's nothing inside me that can take your place. That makes me realize I didn't feel sympathy for her. The girl I saw in my dream, she fought alone and died alone. I thought she was unrewarded, but at the same time, I was charmed by her. I just thought she was beautiful. She pulled out the sword and ran through her life without looking back. Her life itself was so brilliant. That's right. So I have to protect her, so that you, all alone, won't be engulfed in darkness in your last moments. That's right. So in your last moments, on the verge of your death, so that you can be proud of your life. My doubts disappear. My path is so clear. Sorry. I love you more than anything, Saber. So I won't give you to a guy like him. After I say that, I regret apologizing to her. But I had to say it. I wanted to say it now, at this moment, because there would be no impurities mixed by my words. I hear her gasp. I wanted to turn around and see, but I won't, since I can't really see anymore. I get up. I can still fight if my heart is beating. My magical energy is my life. As long as my heart is beating, I'll keep on recreating her sword. Well done. So now what? What can you do now? I feel burning heat on my right hand. Perhaps because I'm close to death. I remember 10 years ago. It's a terrible illusion. My body feels like it's still in that fire, reaching out for life. Go away. I can't give Saber to you. I raise my right hand and say that. Fool! I do not need your consent! The enemy raises his sword. Get down, Shirou! I hear Saber's voice from behind me. I ignore it and use my remaining magical energy. I project the sword once more. And I'm stopped by that light. Even though it's not as strong as Excalibur, the light that can burn away everything it touches is coming for me. Feeling the heat on my body, I don't think about my death, but about Saber behind me. She'll be dragged in like this, so I have to at least protect her. I said I'd protect Saber. Yes, I wanted to protect her. She's strong, but at the same time, she could have broken down at any moment. So I have to hold steady. She's like a drawn sword, so I have to help her so she doesn't get hurt. Then, before I realize it, there's something like a sword in my right hand. What? Whose voice is that? The hesitation, only for an instant. At the same moment, the golden knight, the absolute victor, retreats. Shirou, let me... Saber takes my hand. The rising light stops. Right beside me is Saber. Right before me is Gilgamesh, opening his eyes and bleeding. I don't know what happened, but I know this is a repeat of the battle against Berserker. Saber used something I made and defeated Gilgamesh's sword. A light pushed back his light and must have injured him, who was unscathed up until now. A frighteningly murderous intent. It feels like he needs to kill everything he sees in order to calm down. but the Golden Knight leaves silently. Eh? I don't even have time to be surprised. I don't know why he left, but even my fading mind knows that the battle is over. My knees give away. All tension disappears, and my body falls to the ground. Shirou! Saber instantly supports me. With Saber supporting me, I look down at my body. Huh. I let out a gasp. My wounds are so bad, they can't be treated. My body cut from my left shoulder should have died instantly. Oh, this is too... I must be barely alive because of that healing power, but it must have its limits. My body's almost split in two. I'm sure nothing will be able to fix my body now. I can't even tell if I'm still breathing or not, and my consciousness is starting to fade. The end is near. But the fortunate thing is about Saber. I have a fatal wound, but it seems Saber's just fatigued. She's unarmed now, and her wounds are completely healed. So, even if I retire now, Tosaka should be able to do something. There's that sound again. The sound as if my bones are creaking is coming from my body. I look down at my wound. Huh? There are many swords. What look like the blades of swords are layered on top of each other and crowding together to connect my separated body, making that sound. I feel dizzy. It feels like every bone in my body, every muscle in my body is made out of swords. There's no such thing. It must have been my imagination, as my body's just fine. As proof of that, my separated body is starting to connect, and my cuts are healing quickly. It's more like a restoration than healing. This is more creepy than strange. What? It seems like I'll be saved. But this is too... I'm glad. It seems that you will not die, Master. I hear Saber's voice by my ear. It's really close by. Well, that's great, but what's going on? Trying to finish, I'm assailed by dizziness. Then, my body's enclosed by soft arms. Take this time to take a drink of water. Yeah? Say? Where? No. I finally understand. It's only natural for your body to heal. I can't stay conscious. It's because I produce too much magical energy. A tired mind wants to sleep right now. How strong is she? Saber wraps her arms around me and holds me tight. I finally understand. You were my she, Shirou. She says so in a deep, seeping voice. The feeling is so comfortable that my remaining consciousness fades away. I'm glad to be saved, and I let my body sleep. But before that, I complained to myself that it would have been more perfect if our positions were reversed. Yeah, let's keep going. This might be a double wide, but we'll see. At the end, I see that red hill once more. A red memory. I dive deeper into her memory and realize this is the last time. These are the memories of a night which I have seen many times before. After becoming king and becoming the will of the country by killing her own will, her days were filled with neglect, even from her trusted knights. Every time she won a battle, Arthuria was made to wish for a battle she did not wish for. She continued to hide her sex, surrounded by suspicion. What awaited this isolated girl of rebellion by one of her relatives. A young knight took over the country while the king was on an expedition. The man's name was Mordred. That knight, who was the son of Morgan, the sister of the king of knights, was actually the son of the king of knights. To start at the end, Artoria could not have children as a woman, but Mordred certainly inherited the blood of Artoria. Artoria's older sister, Morgan, I'm not sure how far she went, but she despised Artoria for becoming king even though Artoria was younger than her. Mordred was created as her other self. He served the king as a knight with an unknown father, waited for this chance to take over the throne, and finally orchestrated a revolt. This was the battle, later known as the Battle of Cam Lane, the final battle of King Arthur. King Arthur discovered Mordred's betrayal on her expedition and returned to her homeland with retired troops to invade her own territory. She slashed away knights that used to serve her. She attacked the lands she once protected. The few knights that stayed with her died off, and the only ones standing at the end were her and Mordred. Their personal combat ended with the king's victory, but she did not emerge unscathed. Mordred was bound by a strong curse, so he still swung his sword, even after his death, and left a fatal wound on the king. That is the end of this battle. The last of her, the one called the King of Knights. It must have been painful. Come to think of it, none of her battles were painless. Every one of her 12 battles was severe, and this just happened to be the greatest wound appropriate for her end. She returned to her territory and destroyed her own army. She punished the knights who used to serve her, and the knights following her all died. And in the end, she had to kill her own son, even if he was son only in name. Fatelore got a little weird about that, but that's not the time. I cannot tell what went through her mind, but I have to wish. The lone king who tried to be a king until her last moments. I wish that her last dream might be a normal dream, one that the girl called Artoria might wish for. I opened my eyes. I don't know when I got back, but I'm in my room, lying on my futon. Oh, you have awoken, Shirou. Saber, why am I... You have been sleeping since that time. Your body is almost completely healed, so you do not need to worry. I see. That's great, but... What about Saber? She used Excalibur. She may not even have enough magical energy to heal herself. Saber, were you treating me all this time? I merely wiped your sweat. I cannot treat wounds as Rin does. Idiot. You don't need to do that. It must be more painful for you right now. That is not true. I only have a light wound compared to you. But I cannot ignore what you just said. Even if your wounds have healed, they were bad enough that you could have died. Please worry about yourself for now. Saying so, Saber reaches for the wash bowl beside her. There's a cold towel in there. After squeezing the water out of it, she wipes my sweating body. I'm really embarrassed. Shirou, does your wound hurt? It seems you're getting a fever again. I don't have a fever. No, you just rest for right now. You might be alright, but you used Excalibur. You should be the one resting. You'll collapse again at this rate. What is that sound? Well, that is true, but I'm doing better than you right now. It is only natural for me to protect you until you get better. You got a point there. Crap. You can't object if she says so with that kind of expression. Okay, I'll rest too. So, please, you rest too, Saber. I can't sleep with peace of mind unless you rest too. That is true. I need to sleep as well. Saber nods, squeezing the cloth, and puts that on the side of the washbowl. So I let Saber take care of me and suppress my embarrassment. Then I shall be going to bed. Please take care of your body, Shirou. Oh, okay. Good night. I forgot to say this, but thank you, Shirou. I'm really glad that you are okay. Saber's smiling in the moonlight. Did it look ephemeral because of the weak moonlight? The sliding door is shut before I could find out. I don't know if I'm happy or lonely now that Saber's gone. I did want her to stay by my side, but that'd be a burn on her. And if we stay like that, it'll just be like that all night. Oh, like that night. I shake off the image in my head. Too many things happened today. It was only one day. It felt like a week. The date with Saber was more troublesome than fun. We ended up having an argument, and I left Saber alone. And then... No. I have to rest for now. I can think later. There's not only Gilgamesh, but Lancer as well, and his unknown master. We can't win unless we start over in our best conditions. It happened a few hours ago. She said something about me being her sheath. I was badly injured and about to fall asleep, so I really couldn't ask her why. Damn it. Can't fall asleep. Saber's dream. Her resolute face in the front of her resolute face in front of death, and her face when she nursed me overlap each other. Good night. The frailness of her smile won't get out of my head. The smile that never showed up on the girl in my dream. She says that it makes her happier when I smile. It's vexing. Why is it vexing instead of saddening? I don't know why I'm annoyed to the point of anger. I smack the futon. I'm about to rage around because of this unknown irritation. Shirou, are you not feeling well? I hear her worried voice on the other side of the sliding screen. I was out of breath, so I guess it must have sounded like it tossed around because of pain. No, I'm fine. Are you still awake? Yes, but are you sure you're alright? I can go there if you are in pain. No, it's better if I go over there. No, that's bad. Something I kept in myself would overflow if I see Saber right now. Saber, can I talk with you a bit? Yes, if we can talk like this. We start talking through the sliding screen. Maybe it's because I can't see her, but I recall the smile I last saw on her. Saber was smiling happily. My frustration increases instead of calming down. I don't know why my body is heating up, but I need to talk to Saber. I have to say that it's wrong. I don't know what's really right, but I have to tell her that I'm not wrong about this. My tongue and throat tremble. I can't turn back once I say this. I fully acknowledge it and... It's alright. It's fine. So you should smile for your own sake. I'm pushed by an unknown impulse to say this. Shirou, why? She doesn't even need to ask. I'll keep repeating myself until you realize it. Saber, isn't this enough? You've done your best. You fought, even by yourself. So, you have to find your own happiness. You fulfilled your oath, so you can return to just being Artoria. What? Are you still talking about that? Yeah, and I'll keep on saying it. I can't help because I've fallen in love with you. That's why, Saber. No. You can go back to being Artoria. I suppress my sudden fury. It's about to burst out. Saber only needs to say one thing before that. Shirou, please do not trouble me. Even if you say that, Her answer doesn't change. My heart aches at her determination. You knew my past, but you continue to invade me. You should know my answer already, so why? Why are you still concerned about me? You must have seen all the sins I have committed. Yeah, I did. She sacrificed many people in the name of the king and killed many enemies. I don't intend to ignore that or pretend it didn't happen. But still, even knowing that, I want the girl named Artoria to become happy. So what? I don't know what this emotion is. I just can't leave you alone. Please smile. I want to be with you, Saber. A childlike unilateral confession. Within the silence, I wait for her answer. What is Saber doing on the other side of the sliding screen? Are my words even reaching her? My answer will not change. I cannot break my oath as king. Even if I was not appropriate for the role, I was entrusted with my country as the king. I could not fulfill my duty, so this freedom is not permitted to me. I can't hold myself back any longer because her voice sounds so sad. I don't want to hear the lonely oath to be the king instead of her words as Artoria. I already know that. I didn't become this vexed to hear those screams. I kick my futon. In front of me is the sliding screen separating our rooms. Shirou. The sound of the sliding screen feels distant. My mind blanks out. Why was I so angry? Why was I so sad? Her eyes shake as if about to cry. Her gorgeous neck and slender shoulders. Her golden hair reflects the moonlight, just like when we first met. I'm embracing her when I notice. I embrace her so hard that I could break her, but she doesn't resist. It's different from that night. I didn't feel like this back then. What a ridiculous story. I wanted to become a superhero, but I never fell in love with anyone, nor was I ever unwilling to let go of anyone. Saber. It feels like she'd disappear if I kept holding her. I don't know how long I've held her, but I finally figure out that she won't disappear and loosen up. Shirou, what is it all of a sudden? What is the meaning of this? Even if you do this, She moves slightly in my arms. Her lips tremble as if to say something, but... I close them with a soft touch. Her body is slightly trembling. I'm staring at Saber, but I'm not seeing anything. In its place, my lips feel Saber's kindness. Our lips part. Saber's hand on my chest pushes us apart a bit. Shirou, that kiss was... Does she want it to say it's a mistake? She looks up at me with a face about to cry. It's not a mistake. I'll say it as many times as I need to. I love you, and I can't just let you go. Tell me if you don't like it. Tell me that you are only a master and a servant, and a contract, and contradict me. How unfair. Are you telling me to say such a thing? Yeah. I won't hold back if you won't tell me clearly. If you won't refuse me, I'll just do what I want. Even if it would make her temporarily forget her determination to be king. A long silence. I keep holding her, and I feel her softness. She's still tense, not wanting to be embraced. All we hear are our breaths and the beating of our hearts. How many times did our hearts beat? Saber slightly puts more power into the hand on my chest. I cannot answer your feeling. As you cannot change your way, there are things I cannot change. All I can do, if forgiven, is to... Her pause aches my heart. She bites her lip, trembles, and says as if to make a confession, this night is unforgivable. But still, her unresisting body and her wavering eyes tell me that. Only this one night. She wants to stay like this until the night ends. Saber, I raise my hand to embrace her again, but I have used my double phantasm, so I cannot fight unless I receive energy from her. Her quiet voice stops me. I can't say anything. That reason is her best absolution and her biggest, modest wish. Yeah, you're right. But is the connection still working? Yes, you are charging me even as we speak. So to heal, we must be close to each other. That's the limit. This is the distance between us, a girl bound by her oath, and myself, who cannot destroy her oath. Saber moves within my arms. At the same time, the feverish heat in my body returned. My arms panic at her warmth. I'm painfully aware of her softness and slenderness. I'm ashamed for panicking. Saber's cheeks are red as well, and she looks embarrassed. So please, Shirou, please allow me to sleep here tonight. It is easier for the sword and sheath to regain powers if they are together. And if we bring our bodies and minds closer, like during that ritual. I nod back. Happiness overwhelms my embarrassment. I'm going to be with Saber until morning. We can't touch each other anymore. We can still be close using our hearts. Good. Then Shirou, I will do the preparation tonight, so you can go back to your room. Saber stands. I'm reluctant to let her go, but I can't be like this forever. I head to the sliding screen. I turn back to look at Saber as I close the screen. With her hands at her collar, Saber shyly returns my gaze. It feels like I'm doing something impure, so I quickly close it. For some reason, I sit sizes down on the futon as I wait. I'm going to be sleeping together with Saber. Just the thought of it causes me to dance in my head. This is to help Saber, and also to grant her a small wish. Saber may be able to smile someday if we pile up such small wishes. But the battle's nearing its end. Will we have enough time? Excuse me, Shirou. The screen opens. I shake the depressing thought from my mind and welcome Saber. For that, I'm going to take another drink of water. I turn around and see. I quietly swallow my breath. Her white figure shows up in the darkness. With that, my agitation disappears. It's probably because she's too beautiful. My agitated mind comes to its senses and clears up. Do I look strange in this? No, that's not true. I'm probably just troubled because you're so dazzling. I remember strange things, such as how troubling it is for a girl to be too beautiful. Saber wouldn't understand what I mean, but my mind won't move unless I say this. May I go over there, Shirou? Yeah. I noticed for the first time how her small toes look beautiful. I'm not gonna... As Saber makes her way over, I draw back and spread the futon. I realize that I need another pillow, but it's too late now. Saber and I sitting by the futon, side by side. There's only one room and one futon, but Saber's with me. I have no dirty thoughts, but my face is burning, and I can't even sneak a glance at Saber. Please go ahead, Shirou. No, you can go ahead. We're just gonna go around in circles like this. I slip under the futon, then make a space for Saber. I try to give the pillow to her, but she quietly pushes it back towards me. You can use this. May I, use your arm as my pillow? She remembers such a thing. Saber's in my arms, and it's surprisingly calm. I'm not hugging her, but rather, she's settled in there. Sword and sheath. I recall Saber's words. Saber's about to fall asleep using my arm as her pillow, and she looks like a beautiful sword in its sheath. Her warmth and her faint smell calms me down instead of exciting me. It seemed unthinkable that I was ever worried about falling asleep in Saber. Saber holds out her hand. I take her hand under the futon and clasp it. We quietly fall asleep. Before that, Saber, I call it to the girl laying beside me. I want to ask her in the end, to hear her reply to my question. Do you feel it, Shirou? My magical energy should be replenished by tomorrow morning at this rate. I can fight as your servant starting tomorrow. Saber. That is it for now, Shirou. My role is to protect you and to obtain the Holy Grail. I cannot think about anything else until the battle is over. Is that not right? Because you have chosen to fight to end this war. That's something I cannot argue against. If I want to do something about our problem, I have to end this war beforehand. First of all, I can't protect Saber unless we defeat that man who's after Saber. But, do we have a way to defeat that king of heroes? We go quiet and stare at the darkness. How long were we like that? My tired body wants to take a rest, and my eyes start to close. But our clasped hands are warm. Saber? Yes. Let us think tomorrow, Shirou. We might come up with a good plan tomorrow, and I'd like to sleep like this for now. She says so while gently clasping my hands. Yeah, I wanted to too. Yes. Good night, Shirou. Let us return to our previous selves when we wake up. I close my eyes with her close to me. My last vision of Saber sees her smiling warmly. I don't care if it was just for this night. Right now, her hand is warm. That is more than enough for me right now as I fall into a comfortable sleep. We approach the end of this battle, without knowing if we will be able to keep our hands connected, even after everything is over. And that's it, guys. That wasn't actually nearly as long as I thought it was going to be. But, that's that. I don't really want to say anything stupid to ruin the mood, so that's that for the rest of the day, guys. See you next week.